Welcome to the Yaya Said It podcast. Subscribe, like, share, and follow. Enjoy the show. Welcome to Yaya Said It, the second episode. It's going to be a smashing episode because my guest today is no stranger to our screens. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the lovely NAPO MODISE.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm good, Yaya. How are you?
I'm good. You seem to be in a good space.
I'm in a very good space. I'm feeling great, feeling awesome, and super excited to be here. And just before we start, I just want to say I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
so proud of you for creating this platform for yourself on your own because you believe in yourself so much. I'm like so happy to be here.
Thank
Can't
you
wait,
so
can't
much.
wait. Yeah.
No, we're gonna boom very soon.
Yeah.
You know, Napo and I met in a presenting competition,
100%.
and we really got along.
Yes.
We didn't make it first.
Yeah.
We didn't make it to the top 2, right?
No.
But then we still built a relationship.
Absolutely.
Yes,
we
and we
built a
kept in
relationship
contact.
and we just kept in contact. And yeah, here we are.
Here we are.
We have gone on to do some amazing things.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Super exciting. Consistency. Consistency. Yeah.
So after the competition, how has your life changed? Because I remember that we're going to talk about it later though, not now. But how has your life changed after that competition?
Look, life changed for me in a very good way because I think, competitions like that sort of like teach you that you always have to perfect your craft, hone your craft, but also know what you stand for and what you represent and what you will settle for and what you won't settle for is very important. Yeah.
Right. I remember that competition very well. I feel like I was nurtured in that competition. It groomed me.
Yes.
And it gave me the confidence just to think on my feet when it came to being on screen, behind the mic, behind the lens. So I am grateful for that experience and also grateful for meeting people like you, and the other people that we met that day and during that entire season. But also, I want us to speak about your upbringing, your childhood. Who was NAPO MODISE growing up in preschool, in primary school, in high school? Who was NAPO MODISE then before the NAPO MODISE we know now?
Sure. So NAPO MODISE was and is still a very charismatic, bubbly child full of so much personality and life. I am one of 7 children. So I have 4 sisters and 2 brothers. And sure, Napo has always been a very active child. I mean, I stayed in school, primary school and high school. I stayed. I did public speaking, debating. I played some sports as well.
Did you?
Oh yes, I know you don't believe I'm very active.
What's
but I played badminton. I used to do swimming. I played tennis as well. But also I was very big on the cultural side, which is your public speaking. I stayed for debating.
Do you drama? Yes, definitely.
The choir.
Yeah.
Because I love to sing.
I know. We're still gonna sing for you guys. Napo loves singing. Oh my gosh. All the videos I have of Napo, it's just him singing.
Yeah,
he
I
loves singing.
I love singing, but really that's it. And I come from a very loving, close-knit family. I have the most amazing mom and my dad, who is late now. But
may he rest in peace.
Yeah, may he definitely rest in peace. He was the epitome of power, of resilience. He was such an incredible, formidable man who I loved so much, and he was always present in my life. And yeah, man, I have incredible siblings. We have a great relationship. We get along. I'm really from a very wholesome, nurturing family. I think that's why
That's
like,
why you're so loving.
Yeah, man, I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. Yeah.
Extremely.
Yeah, very blessed.
And where are you from? Because
Oh
you're
yeah,
South African, definitely.
nagana ke sa bui ka siaka bathong. So I'm all the way from Thokoza, that's in the East Rand, Ekurhuleni.
Yes.
Our area code is 1426 Ikasi Lamakasi.
Kasi la makasi.
Ikasi la makasi.
Everyone says about the kasi
Thokoza.
though. But everyone says about the kasi.
Yeah, but so many incredible people and talented people and legendary, iconic people come from Thokoza.
Yes. So what language do you speak? Because you speak a lot of English.
Yeah.
Sotho, Tswana, Pedi.
Bona nakim Soto.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, I think because also I spent so much of my childhood with my gran as well. And khona ka nele mZulu. So ngikhuluma isiZulu better than Sesotho.
Really?
And at that time came Sotho. But yeah, man, I speak isiZulu, Sesotho. Yeah, but it's a mixture. I mean, I live in an area where I live, it's called Basotho.
Okay.
And predominantly the people who live there, Babua Sesotho. And then there's another section called Pendoga, Batwamo Babua, Sizolo. And then there's other sections where it's a mixture of everything. So honestly, I'm South African.
Yes.
Let me just say that.
Yes.
Kibua inkapa inkapa kai ningapa ning.
Yeah, you're African. You're the son of the soil.
Son of the soil. 100%.
But how was high school Napo? Because you've described the bubbly child, the little Napo child. Now we want to know Napo in high school. Who was he? You know, who did he hang out with? Was he the cool kid? Was he the kid in the corner? Jay, we wanna know that as well, because people come out of their shells out of high school and they just become, you know.
Yeah. 100%. Look, Napo in high school was still the same Napo. Very charismatic. He was very well known, a popular kid. I was the only guy in a group of 18 girls. Like, we had a squad. We'd sit in the garden. It was literally 18 girls and Napo. Those were my friends in high school. I've always had a very big personality in high school. And I think one moment that made me extra popular in high school, do you remember Jam Ellie?
I do. Jam
Ellie.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
this is Jam Ellie. Yeah.
Jam
in grade 8, I went to Jam Ellie.
Ah.
Yeah, won't get Ellie Jam Ellie. Yeah. I
promise
old are
you. Napo, how old are you? Jam Ellie, I was in primary.
I am old enough. But I went to Jam Alley. I was in grade 8, and I'll never forget that Monday after my show aired. Mangena gate eskoleni. This is Jam Alley. Oh, and I think that also sort of like just made me even more popular. But like, there's that boy from Jam Alley. He was on TV. You know.
So TV's always been your thing.
So TV's been my thing, absolutely, and entertainment. Yeah. And I think that was also one of the ways of trying to navigate into the space. So yeah, I've been on Jam Alley, Jam Blaster, Jam Chocolate.
Utwasa was the presenter.
With my episode, it was Uspiwe. Remember Spiwe? From YoTV.
Wait, Uspiwe kanjubani?
Lobeka ku YoTV man nabo CC and
everyone. I remember
everyone.
CC. I remember Usaifo.
You remember Carly?
I remember Carly.
Spiwe was also there. So it was him.
Oh, I remember Spiwe. No, Akumzi also.
And Akumzi, yes. May his soul rest in peace. So Spiwe was there, and it was Twasa.
Yes.
Remember Twasa?
I remember. I love Twasa.
Yes. So it was Piwe and Twasa. Yeah. And then this other lady, the tall one, Pushy, baby, Pushy.
I thought it was Pushy.
No, it was Pushy. Yeah. So it was 3 presenters. Those were the presenters on my episode. Yeah. But yeah, man, that was high school. I was also still very active and involved in the cultural stuff as well as sports. And yeah, man, high school was incredible. It was fun. The only thing that sucked about high school, there was this culture at my high school where boys would give you wedgies on your birthday.
I think every high school had that.
I remember in grade 9 getting a wedgie in the matric garden. Like, I got a wedgie from the matrics. I kid you not. The matrics.
Did you like that, or was it bullying for you at the time?
No, man, it was so uncomfortable. Look, it happened to everyone. Well, not everyone, but I know it happened to the people who are known a lot, you know? And for people to remember my birthday and
it means something.
And we're in school, like that meant something. That must have meant I'm very special because y'all know it's my birthday. Y'all checking the calendar, you know? So,
okay.
I mean, you know, I looked at it from that perspective. But now, in a little bullish.
Where you for what?
Yo.
I remember boys in high school doing that. Even in primary school.
Dude.
Wedgies were not cute.
No, they were not cute at all. No, in hindsight, when I think about it now, I'm just like, that was not supposed to happen.
I know, it be wrong.
Yeah, but anyway, we always used to laugh and we'd always gather in the garden every time it's somebody's birthday and they're getting a wedgie.
And after high school, where did Napo go afterwards? What happened to Napo?
After high school, Napo loved accounting. I loved accounting. I know. I was very good at accounting in high school. I enjoyed working with numbers. Napo went to UJ. And then Napo studied BCom Finance. But Napo didn't finish his degree because that entertainment bug really bit. And I think I honestly got into finance as more for my parents. Because I wanted to study the arts or journalism. And my dad was like, no ways. You can't do that. Who do you see making money in entertainment? These people,
that's
no
what
gig,
all
no
our
pay.
parents. Yeah, that's all our parents say.
Yeah, and my dad was just like, no, you cannot do that. And I was like, but that's what I want to do. And he was like, no ways, I'm not paying for that. So I did a BCom Finance, but I didn't finish my degree though. However, I left it like second year. I was like, this is not for me.
Second year?
Yeah, and I was like, this is not for me.
Okay, but that's when usually people drop out.
Yeah, like I was like, no, this is not for me. This is not what I want to do. And I decided to follow my passions.
I love that.
Yeah. I really took a risk.
Did you go study drama or presenting?
So I did some presenting courses. I also did short courses for radio. And also just voice courses as well.
Yes.
Anything that would help me hone my craft. That's what I went out to go do. I don't know if you remember On Cue Communications.
Okay, but
yeah.
What year was it?
Sure, I can't remember. I can't remember. 2000 and or...
If it's 2000 and
yeah, but it's 2000 and something. I mean, and you know how I found out about On Cue? It's the same school that Bonang went to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's the same school that Bonang went to. So I went to On Cue. I registered there, did my presenting courses there, audio courses, etc. Yeah.
Okay.
And then from there, obviously, you don't break out immediately. Things don't always go your way. Obviously, we've got to audition, we've got to do things. You know what I'm saying? Like audition and this and that. And then I had to find a job because now, I'm off the paycheck of my parents. You know what I'm saying?
And you're done with
and
with
I'm,
the courses.
I'm done with the courses. So, I worked in retail. I worked in call centers. Yeah, man.
Call centers.
I did. But actually...
How did you have the patience? Especially being a creative, you know how short-tempered we are.
Yeah, we can be very short-tempered. But for me, I enjoyed it because I was using my voice. And some callers would always say, you have such a great voice.
Why don't you go on radio?
Go on radio, whatever. So that would always just reaffirm what I've always believed that I need to do, hearing that from people. And also, it taught me a lot about dealing with people.
Yeah.
I was also one of, even if I say so myself, one of the best sales agents. I always used to get like the premium clients because my boss.
Because you use your personality.
Yeah, I'd use my personality, and my boss would always be like, "No, let's give those to Napo. Napo can handle these type of clients and whatever." Do you know what I mean? So I definitely knew then that I have a way with people, and I think everything in my life, I feel like has just been very instrumental. To get me to where I am right now. But there was a time where I was like, okay, I am done. I need to go fully in now, even if it means I start from the ground up, but I will work my way up. And that's exactly what I did.
And you're well on your way.
Thank you.
So far, how's the journey been after being at a call center, being in retail, auditions as well? We graduate from drama school, from media school, and we think that, yay, I'm going to get an agency and I'm going to get a job immediately and I'm going to be famous and I'm going to get my money right and everyone's going to know me, my parents are going to be proud. I'm going to prove people wrong, but it does not go that way.
That way, absolutely.
So what for you, when did you realize that actually I've been trying so hard and I've been going to all these auditions, but I've been getting no's. I haven't been getting any yeses. How did you feel at that particular moment?
You know what? For me, I've always had this belief that whatever is meant to be, it will be. And I know it may sound cliche, but I honestly live by that. And I always say that anything worth having takes a lot of hard work and consistency. And I cannot be hosting like a family 21st or somebody's birthday or people asking me to do their wedding. This is like back then now.
Yeah.
And there's nothing special about me, you know. There were always instances in my life that would just remind and reaffirm that entertainment and broadcasting is exactly where I need to be. And I mean, honestly, how did I navigate? I just never gave up. I honestly never gave up. No, for me is still next opportunity. You know, it just means maybe that the timing is not right, but it definitely is going to happen. And I feel like the more you put yourself out there, the more whoever needs to see you will see you. And things will just work out.
Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, sure. Yeah, life has changed since then, hey? Life has changed a lot.
When I get again.
Yeah, I'm running, okay? I'm running.
But it's okay. You look good. You look good.
Thank you. Give me a few more months and I will be snatched and you'll be like, Napo, are you from Turkey? And I'll be like, no, Napo, I've just been running. I've been on the road.
We all need to run, guys. South Africans, as joking and get banned as joking.
Harimateng.
Hi, guys, that's kitchen men gek.
Yo.
So for me, and I think for the rest of South Africans, the first time we saw NAPO MODISE was on Coming Out. Would you say that was your breakthrough moment? Was that your moment of breakthrough when the show aired and we got to see you every week on our television screens?
Sure. I would definitely say it is one of my highlights. But I don't know if it would be my breakthrough moment.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. I look, over the past 5 years, right? There's been so many changes in my life, right? And Moja love has also happened within the last 5 years, right?
Yeah.
I moved from being talkative and all of that, right? I've experienced a lot of personal growth where I was able to use my personality to now become a booked talent, and that is as an MC.
Okay.
First of all, which I have been on some incredible stages, right? Within the last 5 years. And then, of course, Moja Love happened. Moja Love, yes, I would say is one of the biggest highlights of my career, because after getting so many no's and rejections for auditions and presenting, to getting a yes on one of the biggest TV channels in South Africa.
Very controversial, entertaining. Everyone loves it.
Real,
our grandmothers, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is a highlight, but in every sphere of my career and broadcasting, there are special nuggets and like highlights within those different spheres. Yes, it helped me to catapult to a whole new level, of course. Because I mean, TV just gives you so much more exposure, right?
Does, yes.
You become a familiar face, name, you know. But I think I've had highlight moments in every sphere, honestly. Because I mean, I moved from doing an online radio station where it was not known to doing one of the biggest community radio stations, which I'm currently doing now, 97.1 Gussie FM. 97.1.
Please repeat that.
So 97.1 Gussie FM.
Okay.
I'm
so
on
that,
Gussie
so that
FM.
we listen to you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's one of the biggest community radio stations in Thokoza. Ekurhuleni rather. Sorry, Ekurhuleni,
Yes.
not Thokoza. We're big.
Ekurhuleni.
Ekurhuleni. Yes, please. Umasipala. Yebo.
Uphethe umasipala
Mphethe
wonke.
umasipala, lalela. Dikgoro di bulegile. And then of course Moja Love. But then also, I mean, with my emceeing side of things,
Yes.
I've worked with on some incredible stages. I mean, there's the Kota Festival.
That's also big.
The South African Social Media Awards, you know, the SASMA.
Tell us about that.
Like, I've done some incredible things. Yeah.
I want you to tell us more. We're going to go back to Coming Out, your experience there. But the Social Media Awards, how was it for you How did it feel?
Sure.
Who styled you?
Yeah.
How did you prepare for that?
Yeah. So that year I remember very well. It was 2022. Okay.
Yes.
And the South African Social Media Awards had an open competition on their social media for a red carpet host or red carpet MC. And they were looking for a red carpet MC. Of course, I submitted my video on Instagram and all social media platforms. And the videos that got the most reactions would kind of like, make it into the top 10 or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And out of the thousands and thousands of people who entered across the country, Banketa as well as Nomalangalanga.
Unomalanga lo
creative corner.
Is she not on BET?
No, she's not on BET. There's another Nomalanga. She's
Nomalanga.
Incredible. Fire energy. She's absolutely amazing. Love her. So me and Nomalangalanga won in 2022.
Okay.
The red carpet host. We hosted the red carpet. We were incredible. Even if I say so myself.
No, you can.
Yeah.
You can. This is about real conversations.
Yeah.
Authentic conversations.
Yeah.
We are allowed to blow our own horn.
100%.
If we feel like we're good at something and we nail something, we're going to say it. Must be blind. Oh, blind.
Gabonga. But first of all, also, I just want to say thank you to every single person who voted for me. Because also it would not have happened if they didn't vote for me. Because there was a time where the cut was narrowed down to a top 6 and people had to vote for their top, who they want. And I was one of the people that got voted for. This is even before I did television, by the way. So it's not like I was known. People just believed in my talent that they saw from, my submission. Anyway, so me and Nomalanga Langa hosted the red carpet 2022. Shoot to 2023. Sasman's like, we want you guys back, but now we want you to host our video series for nominations. You guys have great chemistry. You guys are a vibe. We want you back.
And they remembered you from 2022.
And they remembered us. Yeah. They remembered us. Remembered us so much that we also ended up hosting the nominations luncheon that very same year, 2023. 2024, they call me back to host the nominations luncheon again in 2024, as well as to record the voiceover for the nominations that will be live.
2 in 1.
La. So God's grace has really just permeated my life and overflowed. So that's how the Sasmas came about. And I love the Sasmas because I think they celebrate creatives and content creators because that is where the world is leading to.
And people who are getting themselves out there without connections, agencies.
Exactly. These are people who are taking a risk on themselves and they're putting themselves out there. And the South African Social Media Awards celebrates people like that. So to be a part of that type of a platform, while me myself, I am also still channeling and putting myself out there. I'm just a full cycle again, Anna.
We ghost. Yes. Come to my toy. We ghost. We ghost.
Gabonga. But yeah, that's how the Sasmas came about. Yeah.
So, coming out.
Yes.
The episodes. Your best, your worst.
Sure.
And your most controversial. Those cousins.
Okay. The worst, I'd probably say episode 1. And worst in a sense that, the nerves.
It was bad because you were sweating.
It was bad because I was sweating. Not even makeup could help. I was, lalela, peeing in my pants. Like,
we need to see that first episode.
Yeah, no, it was hectic.
YouTube, say beg.
I think you'll find clips of it on YouTube, but it was insane. So that was definitely for me, I think, my worst. Right? Are you trying to find it right now? Yeah, can you find it after, please?
Okay, we'll find it after.
I don't want to relive the trauma, please. And then my best, my best would have to be, I don't know. I think from 2 to 13 or 14. They were all like, because every story was so different. Yes, the format of the show doesn't change, but every show was so different and special. And I love shows where we end up having like an amicable resolution, you know, so which was what happened for most of the shows. So I don't really have one that really stands out as a best, but I think I enjoyed every single episode. Most controversial is episode 3.
You even remember which episode it was? It must have traumatized
La. Episode 3, and I hope I don't get into trouble, but I think I am allowed to say this.
You can say anything. This is Yaya said it. Yaya said it. I said it. You can say it. Say it.
Yitilabo, ne?
Yeah.
CIA, KZN.
Okay.
We are going to go shoot in KZN, the heart of KZN. We were in Ngutu. We were in Ngutu next. Here is this wonderful young lady who has transitioned from being male to female. And she now wants to come out to her dad, who she no longer lives with because of the dad had issues with her sexuality from the onset. And she was kicked out of home and she went to go live with her aunt somewhere else. You know, her aunt was more accepting of her sexuality and the journey of transition. But now she realizes that she wants to have her father back in her life, especially because she lost her mom as well. And you know, no mungahlala ku mamkhulu and what.
Akufani
nasekhaya. Do you understand? So waqela ke simphelezele to go and tell her dad that she has now transitioned from a he to a she, and you know, this is how she identifies. Ubaba is a very conservative, traditional
Zulu man.
Imvula iyanetha uyanda. Imvula iyanetha siyafika laphayana. Masifika laphayana ubaba was busy working. Ubaba, I think he does like is in construction. I think yabo abo ma tiles ukbenda into ezinjalo, like that's umsebenzi wakhe, you know, ukulungisa imizi kanjalo. Ubaba was busy working. So how we got to speak to Ubaba, we presented ourselves as, I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but people who came to want business from him. Because that was the only way we were going to be able to get a chance to talk to him. Because he was wondering, Haibo, I'm a H1 angaga, and this, what is happening?
Yeah.
Hi, my producer went to go talk to him, ask him, immediately he came. We start rolling.
Yeah.
As we are rolling, he sees his daughter, or his son, who's now
his
transitioned
daughter.
to being his daughter. He sees her and he completely loses it. And he's like, no, but I mean, ubona his daughter,
camera,
and he's like, bazenalo, which is obviously low or kosha dala type of thing. Seganje, segafaka ma weave manje, segu yeni, you know. This man, I had to beg and plead with him. Lalela ngaze ngambiza ngithakazelo zakhe. Do you understand? No, because I mean, I love research. I research.
That's
I
good.
always
You
research.
definitely are a presenter, yeah.
Yeah, I researched. So I researched. So I knew who I was going to go talk to, you know, even though I didn't know much about him. But the key things that I needed to know about him, I knew. I always ask for information from my directors or producers about where we're going, what's happening, what's the backstory, so that, you know, I can sort of like lay it already in my head.
Your approach is diplomatic.
And my approach and everything.
And
100%. Yes. So that calmed him down. But now the rain is pouring. So I beg him to please come into the car so we can talk further. And he's like, okay, I'll give you 5 minutes. At that time, I'm also part of the queer community. I'm just wondering if this man is not seeing that as well.
Were you not triggered?
I was very emotional. I remember doing my closing link. I had tears in my eyes. I had tears in my eyes. I'm actually just thinking about it now. And it's already like, yeah, because I'm already thinking about my guests how she felt after everything. Being rejected again for a second time. So it was very painful by a parent, and the only surviving parent. Anyway, so
It's okay.
So her dad was basically just not accepting to the transition journey, the sexuality. Ubaba was just adamant ukuthi uzale umfana yena akayazi yini lena umsusile nakumapolisi wakhe nama-in wakhe dala yena wakhohlwa ukuthi unomntana onje akasanayo umfana yena wazala umfana la manyala lawa akawa-accepti. And she tried to say to ubaba, baba, I was born this way. This is who I am, and I want for you to accept me. I want for you to just love me. All I want is to have a relationship with you. Ngikhumbulile baba and stuff like that. And anginabani we ngisele ngawe baba and ngifuna sizama ukulungisa izinto sixazulule yonke lento lena. Ngifuna ungazi kangcono ufunde ngami and stuff like that. But the dad was just like, until you get that weave off your head, ugqoke njengomfana and whatever, angukwazi angifuni lutho engihlanganisa nawe. To the point where the dad has obviously moved on. He's got he's got a wife now.
He's got a new wife.
A new wife now, who is obviously my guest's stepmother.
Yeah.
Stepmother Yena is a bit more accepting. But Obaba was just adamant. So stepmother even ended up intervening because I think they heard, hey, kuna ma camera le phezulu usbanbane ufigile. You know how it is, Makai. It's everybody knows what's happening.
Yeah, it's out in the open.
Yeah, there's cameras up there. Hey, and the stepmother tried to intervene, ukuluma no baba, and said, you know what, now maragubo awuzanga nama camera, maybe ngabe sikhulume sisodwa. But she was like, I've been trying.
Of course she has.
Godwa Obaba has not wanted to hear me, And stepmom was like, you know what, I'll keep trying to talk to him and convince him, maybe come and see him again when he's a bit more calmer and maybe you guys can sort of find a resolution and resolve this. So that was definitely one of the most controversial episodes. But it really, it was very sad. It was sad. It was controversial. I mean, there were even moments where Lapana in the bus, because we, like I said, we had to get into the car because it was raining. And my guest was sitting on my right and the dad was sitting on my left. And obviously I was in the middle mediating between the two, trying to mediate the conversation and everything. There were moments where I literally thought that man was going to punch me.
And because how did you feel? Were you
saying to him,
Were you defensive? Were you?
No,
were you
I
afraid?
was not defensive. I was very calm.
You had bodyguards?
I had bodyguards, yes. But I also, you cannot when somebody is ala papezulu, naubela, Because I saw my guest was starting to lose it with her dad. And she started getting a little bit disrespectful with the dad. And the dad said, Yeah. And then I had to calm her down to say, you don't speak to an adult like that. But I also had to say to Ubaba, Baba, but now and get stuff like that, Hey, Godwa. Saying, yeah, it was. And remember, we have to, episodes are also edited, so you don't see everything.
Oh, yes. Some things are cut.
Some things are cut, but it was intense. So, yeah. That's that most controversial episode. Yeah.
And do you feel like from that show, you made a difference in the queer community here in South Africa?
130,000,000,000% yes. Because I had so many DMs on my social media from people in the queer community saying, thank you for being such a safe space and a safe energy for the queer people. Thank you for, even when you get to the confrontation, you don't waver. You are always resolute.
And you're very unbiased. I've seen from your shows.
Yeah, and you're very unbiased and you're there. Thank you for that, because sometimes you'll find that presenters end up throwing people in the deep end. You held people's hand throughout and you've made me want to now come out to my family. You've given me courage. So that was so beautiful to just hear from people on social media that I do not know. I got messages from people wanting me to mentor them, people who wanted me to either facilitate or guide them on how to approach their coming out conversations with their parents. You know, some would want to do it without cameras, obviously, but to say, please guide me as to how I can advise them what to say and whatever. So I really felt that I was very impactful on that show, and I definitely know that I made some incredible impact on the queer community as a whole, 100%.
And I think your emotional intelligence also made an impact.
Yeah.
Do you think it's because of how you came out? How was your coming out story to your family, to your friends, and how did your life change after that?
Well, can I tell you, I don't have a coming out story. I have literally always been authentically me and myself, and I think I am an open book. And I've been like this from childhood. The only time I've had a conversation about my queerness, my mom, I remember asking me, I think I was in grade 7.
Okay, you were
or grade
young?
8. Yeah, grade 7 or grade 8.
I was
She was
very
asking
young,
me, but I was still very young. My mom asked me, she's like, are you gay? And at the time, I didn't know what gay was, right? And I was like, no, I'm not gay. What's that? You know?
In grade 7, you know what gay was?
I didn't.
When were
I
you
honestly
born?
didn't.
When were you born? I mean, Napo's old. We all knew what gay was in grade 3, some of us. How come you didn't know?
Look, I knew what it was, but I did not know that's what I was. So can I tell you, I just found it very odd that I was attracted to the same sex. But I almost didn't really have a proper label for it at the time. I know gay existed, but I never had exposure to gay people. I feel like I was the only gay person in my world, right?
Okay.
I knew I was different, but I didn't know the nitty-gritties of it. Do you know what I mean? And my mom asked me, and I said, what is gay? I'm not gay, you know? And she's like, no, you are. It's fine.
She said it's fine.
Yeah, she's like, no, you are. It's fine. You'll figure
And
it out.
Dad, and how did Dad accept that?
My dad, though, on the other hand, he was on the flip side.
Whoa.
So my dad, I remember grade 11. Now I knew I was gay. Like, this is like, I'm fully like.
And your friends would tell you, I'm sure.
Yeah,
You're
of course.
gay,
But
like,
yeah,
at
no,
school.
absolutely. I mean, even at school, like I said, I had a group of like 18 friends, which were all girls, and I was the only guy. But my dad was not very accepting. My dad loved me, by the way. Listen, my dad was present. He loved me, everything. But when it came to my sexuality, he would have not like harsh conversations with me, but he'd be like, boy, I do hope you eventually find yourself and you find yourself on the other side, because I want...
On the other side.
On the other side,
The
being
traditional black hair.
straight, yeah, on the other side. He was always very tactful of how he would speak about it. To say, I hope you do find yourself on the other side where you are able to, how do you say, sifane sa rona, have children, let the Modise legacy go on. I hope you find yourself a wife. You make children, my boy. It's time for you must make kids one day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But let me tell you, when I turned 21, I had a 21st birthday party, huge party. All my gay friends were at my party.
Okay.
And let me tell you, I think that's when my dad was like, okay, there's no going back. This is it.
This is it. He's gay.
This is him. You know what I mean? So I don't really have a coming out story. But I definitely know that my family knew it before I could name it. And yes, they were very accepting. Very accepting.
That's really lovely.
Yeah.
That's
and
lovely.
Of course, my siblings, we were always cool. So them, I didn't even need to come out to them, they were just so accepting. They knew that I'm different. Yeah. And that's just how it's been.
So since your family never judged you, how was it outside of home, in the community, workspaces? Were you often asked this question, and how was your response? Yes. Were you proud? Were you reluctant? What was going on?
Look, within my immediate community at Togoza, I was very loved, very accepted, still am till today, very supported, very seen, and I'm extremely well celebrated, But spaces where I've experienced homophobia. I want to go taxi rank.
Wait.
Alalela Shem. Aye, the pets.
Martin.
Ebri. Enort. Mtasekhaya. On our way to beat UJ or to work or wherever. Yo. Where's this booty? Otini. Like, Uyanda, I have experienced the most traumatic homophobia.
Have they tried to hit you?
Homophobic slurs at taxi ranks. Hit, no. But can I tell you the worst thing that's happened to me and my best friend, who is now late, Uschaba.
May you rest in peace.
May he definitely rest in peace, my angel. One time we used to work together at a we used to work together somewhere. I almost mentioned them, but anyway, we worked together. So basically, bela siya endlini. So sleli pambil. So it's true, ne? And then masihleli phambili ke kuyabhadalwa ngithi vele mele sibale imali, you know, and all of that. Okay, change in ini. Hayi man, ithi makuqeda ukubhadalwa sort out ama change ne. Sesiyaqoqa ngithi.
Yeah.
O driver. It's like, yo, awe ma, mina ngeke nje ngihlale nezitabani la itaxi.
Hayi
I am telling you. We were from where we work. I think that weekend we were working at East Rand Mall, but we were connecting from East Rand Mall to Germiston. I don't know, but
because it's close by.
It's close, yeah. And can I tell you, lo ubaba loyo wathi nje, I mean, angeke nje ngihlale nezitabani la, angeke ngampani nginike imali yona niyehle noma kuzomo abanye abantu abazohlala la phambili. Cha mina nje angiswani nje nezitabani. Can I tell you, loya baba loya gave us our money? And we got off because we also didn't want to be in that taxi, even if we're simova.
Because of what he said.
What if Mastkubega Pambili and maybe we're the last ones to get off?
Yo.
Then something happens. So we're like, it's fine. Go to niggas Malia to Sizoyesha. And the people in the taxi was like, hi bo, bagenzeni in atayangzwani nje nezitabani nje inhlobo nje angizwani nezitabani nje.
Banilwela noma batholi.
Bayasilwela hi bo abayenzanga lutho mos, hi bo bayasicocela bayihlelele nje, you know. And obviously we were like, I was very emotional, but I was also just like, it is what it is, you know? But I'm like, I don't want to be in the space. Even if he says, because my friend was like, no, let's go sit at the back and then I'm like, I don't want to be in that space.
And being a
yes, no, being a can't Uber, my friend, because otherwise we would have, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, can we have a Skalimalia too? Sizoyehla kunankinga baba
Nenze njani ngoba ngeyikhathi zeni phela nibadala nina ayingekho ama Uber ngeyikhathi zeni
senze njani we all singama senior citizen angiyadlala yo I'm very young
angeke ayengekho ama Uber ngeyikhathi zakhe safunda ngisho sebenza ayengekho ama Uber unombo mdala napho you just look really young.
But let me tell you, we got off and we had to walk back. So we had to walk back to the taxi rank. So I think that stands out as one of the most traumatic experiences that I've had. Yeah. Yeah.
And what is the beauty about queerness? What have you found fulfilling, you know?
I think it is just being bold and unapologetically yourself. Rocking, styling. Oh, man, expression. You know, I think queerness is also just an extension of my work.
Yes.
Because it's so creative. It's so fun. It's free. It's liberating. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it means to me. It just makes me happy.
It makes you happy.
Very happy. Very, very happy. I'm loudly, proudly, boldly, 100% myself. And I don't shrink for nobody.
Nobody.
Baby. Nobody, baby.
So I want you to explain what queer is in an umbrella term. Let's say I'm heterosexual, but very out of the odd. Sexual identity or sexual orientation has nothing to do with me being different. Maybe I'm different from the way that I think, the way that I dress, the things that I do. Do I fit in the queer community?
You would fit into the queer community, yes. But remember, for me, the queer community on umbrella represents people who are not conforming to society's standards. That for me is what the queer community represents. People who are not conforming to society's standards, and also people who have different preferences according to what the societal norms are. But also people who do not want to be put under a certain umbrella or be labeled. That is what queerness represents for me. People who are authentically 100% themselves. And what themselves means is each to their own. That for me is what the queer community, I think, represents. So that's what the umbrella represents.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful words.
Yeah.
So an ice-breaking game just before we close it off.
Yeah.
We're both presenters. You're the
Yes.
presenter that is going to rate presenters today. So I'm going to mention quite a few that I've listed, and you're going to rate them out. You're going to say yes or no. Let's not give them ratings.
Okay.
You're gonna either say yes or no.
Okay.
Right. So number 5.
This is going to be interesting. Okay.
Number 5, Zandin Tlapo.
Yes. Yes.
Number 4, Lunga Shabalala.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Number 3, Maps Maponyane.
Yes.
What's the What does it mean?
Like, I mean, this is, hold on. So, I mean, he's great, right?
Yes.
But I mean, am I rating, like, are those like my faves?
Yeah,
or?
like, would you give him a yes? Or like, I want a yes or a no?
I'd say no.
Number 3 was Maps Maponyane. He was a no. Number 2, Boiti Tulo.
Presenter?
Yes.
No.
Number 1, Nang Mateba.
Hell yes.
Thank you.
Hell yes.
That is a yes from me as well. It's a yes from Napo, and we're wrapping it up. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms at Yaya Media House on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Suffix Library. Also, please mention your handles. People would want to know where to find you as well. There's your camera.
Oh, that's
Give
my
it a shot.
camera. Thank you so much to Yaya's podcast for having me. I thoroughly enjoyed today. Kalibito kena NAPO MODISE, spoiled brat Samudimu.
Yes.
And you can follow me on all social media platforms at NAPO_MODISE on all social media platforms. NAPO_MODISE. Adiwele.
Shout out to Saf, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Danko. Words of encouragement to upcoming presenters, those that are in the queer community, those that want to come out. Please, let's motivate.
What I want to say to those who are on the come up or who want to do this and get into this space, please be loudly and proudly yourself. Don't ever be afraid to be too much, because being too much is your superpower. Go out there and be too much. Everything you want is on the other side of fear.